An RTX 4060 laptop, वो भी in rupees 1 lakh. Well, 1 lakh 7,000 to be exact, but that just became a reality because the Lenovo LOQ powered by Intel 13 Gen Core i7 and RTX 4060 is available for just rupees 1.07 lakh at the time of making of this video. And not just that, it also has the faster 16GB DDR5 RAM in quad channel mode and a 1TB SSD. With such amazing specs and price, is this thing worth the price point? Well, here's a bunch of high demanding games, and we will also compare it with some of the other laptops that we have in the studio to see how good this laptop really is. Let's start off with the benchmarks. Firstly, we have the Cinebench R23. In this, the multi-core score of the 13 Gen Core i7 13620H is 15,666 and it is a little bit less compared to the Core i5 13450HX, and even in terms of single core score, the 13450HX scores more than this laptop. Next up, we have the 3D Mark's Time Spy and Firestrike, and in this area the RTX 4060 is leagues better than the RTX 3050 6GB variant. But it is not the fastest RTX 4060 out there because the RTX 4060 in the HP Omen is slightly faster than this one in these tests. Next up is PC Mark 10, which tests a PC's entire performance, and in that we see a similar story. The HP Omen beats Lenovo LOQ over here as well. Chalo, with the synthetic benchmarks out of the way, let's do some gaming. So first up, we are testing the DDR5 and the Lenovo LOQ is delivering above 100 FPS consistently. The game is running at high graphics at native 1080p settings, and the good thing is that the GPU temperature is remaining below 70 degrees. Meanwhile, the CPU temperature remains below 80 degrees Celsius. Next up is the Borderlands 3, and compared to the DDR5, it is a bit more demanding title, and as a result, we are getting anywhere between 79 to 90 FPS. This game is also running at 1080p resolution at high settings, and although it is not as much taxing on the GPU, the CPU temperature is really touching 80 degrees and above in many cases. Next up, we have Cyberpunk 2077 running at high graphics at 1080p native resolution, and considering all that, the final result we are getting is pretty decent at around 55 FPS, which is inching close to 60 FPS in many cases. The Cyberpunk 2077 seems to be running pretty well on this machine. Moreover, the CPU temperature also seems very good, but the power consumption seems to be taking a dip here as well, which could indicate some level of thermal throttling. With Gears 5, now fans are running at full speed. We are getting decent power draw and temperature numbers. The average FPS here remains 120 plus at high graphics at full native resolution, and the CPU power draw also seems to be back to normal. Gears 5 is also one of those older titles, but it still remains one of the reliable gaming benchmarks in 2024. Now that we have been gaming for a while, we can clearly see that the CPU temperature are starting to climb upwards of 80 to 85 degrees, and the power consumption too is pretty high at 76 watts. Right now the system is functioning at its peak, the fans are at full speed, and therefore GT 5 is running at high settings at 1080p resolution, and it is an absolute non-issue for the Lenovo LOQ over here. Up next, we have Shadow of the Tomb Raider, an older game but still a great benchmarking tool for almost every gaming laptop. Now we are averaging above 110 and 120 FPS. Meanwhile, the CPU temperature and the power draw, both of them remain pretty high. It seems that the laptop's fans are doing their best to maintain a consistent power draw over a long period of time. Alright, so lastly we have RDR2. Now it is running with everything set to high, including shadows and textures, and with that we are getting around 35 FPS. Now I have done this in order to truly push this machine beyond the limit, but I recommend that you turn some of these graphical settings off. Now that is done, here's its comparison with an RTX 3050 laptop and another RTX 4060 laptop, so you can see how it performs. As you can see, the RTX 4060 powered Lenovo LOQ performs well but loses to HP Omen 16. I think the main reason here is that 13700HX CPU, which is better than the 13620H present in the Lenovo LOQ. So overall, the Lenovo LOQ looks like a very value for money laptop. However, if you are spending rupees 1.07 lakh, then spending rupees 7,000 more will get you an even better HP Omen 16 powered by RTX 4060 and an AMD Ryzen 7 7840HS for rupees 1.14 lakh. And as you can clearly see from the gaming benchmarks, it has better performance thanks to a 140 watt TGP RTX 4060 GPU. So, in conclusion, if you absolutely cannot spend a single rupee more than 1.07 lakh, then go for the Lenovo LOQ. Otherwise, if you can spend 7,000 more, then going with the HP Omen 16 makes a lot of sense. Thanks for watching this video. My name is Yatnesh Dubey and I will see you guys next time.